here again with more Tuesday tips, this time from my very special guest, Andrea Hill, CVA from Memphis, Tennessee. So enjoy these tips about friendraising and fundraising from Andrea. And next week, we're also going to have her full Priceless advice interview. Enjoy.
I was really interested in your Tuesday tip specifically around friend raising and fundraising. So if you want to give that Tuesday tip to our leaders of volunteers watching about how you handle or combine or define friend raising and fundraising.
Awesome. Absolutely, absolutely. So, because I'm also a member or a board member with Volunteer Tennessee, which is one of our state commission, which is the state commission for volunteer centers here in the state of Tennessee. We one of the workshops that I put on last year was around fundraising and fundraising, and I thought it was a really good topic because a lot of the work that we do, and because we know as volunteer managers and administrators, we actually take on a full gambit of really a whole organization within our one department of volunteer management. And what that looks like for me is that fundraising and fundraising piece. So the first part that I'll kind of start with is like a tip around developing your collaborations or your friends. As we work through our volunteer projects, we're in some regard serving our individual clients, the community that we desire to serve and to see impact in. But there are other organizations that are around us that want to do the same thing. So as we seek out ways to make our events better, to make our impact better, the way that we can do that is friend raising. So we talk to folks, we go out to events, we collaborate, and that's the main thing is the collaboration piece. So as we're, for instance, again, I'll say with the MLK Days of Service, I can't do that full robust program by myself to serve 10 plus counties. But what I can do is find nonprofits to partner with in each of the counties that I would like to serve and ask them what projects do they have going on. As a volunteer center myself, then we partner together to say, hey, you want to put on a local food drive. That sounds like an awesome opportunity. Let's do that together. And so in that, we're able not just to serve maybe the 100 people that I could potentially reach or the 100 people that they could potentially reach. Now we're serving 200 people together. And that's finding volunteers together, that's actually implementing the planning all the way through the implementation of a safe, socially distanced food bank drive or food bank mobile pantry event. Now, the other piece of that is the fundraising part. Now, I know before everybody turns off the camera and says, you know what, I don't want to hear anything about fundraising.
December fundraising, what are you talking about?
I don't want to do it. It's so much work.
Please continue.
So yeah, it's like, but it's not, I'll say for me, it gets easier with time. And so once you're able to kind of craft your case for support for your event or for your particular service project, once you figure out the who, what, whens, and wheres of that project, then you can go out and ask people for money. Now, sounds easy, right? Just pick up the phone and say, hey, would you like to give me $100,000? And they say, you know what? I've been waiting for somebody to call to say, can I give them $100,000? That's not always the case, but I think one of the fears is that you'll get rejected. Now, take the fear out of the way. Sometimes you will get rejected, and that's okay. But there are times that you will be able to get someone to buy in to your case for support for that particular event. And it really just starts with figuring out what organizations or specifically corporations are interested in your particular service. So much like FedEx here in Memphis or International Paper or any other local corporation that you have in your area, they have a philanthropic goal or a philanthropic vision. And so that maybe they serve or they want to help organizations that are focused on education or focus on youth and children or even animal support. So if you're one of those organizations and you go to them with your particular event or support or program, they're more likely to fund what you have, what you're offering. Now, it's a lot of other things that go into play into thinking about what that is. They want to know, how will you spend the money? Do you have a budget? Has this program been done before? How can they actually get involved? And I think all those things you have. you just have to craft it in a way that is appealing to that particular funder. The thing that what I've done in Memphis and really seen some benefit from is marrying the two of, yes, you're giving money to this organization for us to generally run the event that we want to run, but we also want you to be involved. And so them being able to be engaged as much as they're wanting to, plus being able to give the money that they have available, I think marrying the two together is the kind of the secret sauce. The organizations that we have here in Memphis are really, really engaged, and I'm quite sure they're as engaged in your community as well. And what they want to do is not just hand over the check. That's great for camera purposes. That's awesome. They can get their name on all the marketing materials. But a lot of our organizations really want to be a part of the planning committee. So that's a part that they can play. They also want to be a part of actually doing whatever that service project is. So as an example, with our MOK Days of Service, our 10,000 level sponsorship allows for each of those sponsors that at that level to get a specifically crafted or curated project specifically for 100 employees. So now that it's virtual, it's going to be a virtual project, but that is something that we gear towards that particular organization that they can say, this organization we're sponsoring, we are not just giving money, but we're also dedicating 100 employees to that particular project. In addition to that, you heard me say that we asked them to be on our planning committee. So every year we have a planning committee of the current service partners, but we also invite our sponsors as well. They have a chance to then now help us craft what that message is going to be for any of those service projects that we do along with the National Days of Service that we're putting on. So I think all those things together and the kind of short and cut and dry of it is just making sure that they are as engaged as they can be and as they want to be. And then they're more likely to give to your effort because they know for sure because they're a part of it that they're engaging and they're supporting our community.
Absolutely. And I love that idea of friend raising and fundraising. And it reminds me of years early in my career, 20 years ago, a dear friend who was the director of development for the agency I was working with. Her motto was, if you don't ask, you don't get.
Right.
And I think that works in life in general. It's like, what have you got to lose? Like, okay, they'll say no. You know, no one's going to explode. Like, nothing's going to catch on fire. You're not going to perish. It's fine. Just go on to the next call. And I love those are awesome Tuesday tips, Andrea, of friend raising, fundraising, that deep engagement.